So we're here at CPAC and I've just run into someone with a very interesting t-shirt and it asked me why. So why are you wearing this today and what's been your response?
Well, the response is my profession should be arresting more pedophiles, and we can do that if we don't waste time on a green plan. I'm here at CPAC today to spread this message that drugs should be a medical issue handled by doctors, not police officers, judges, and prisons.
What kind of response have you gotten from other people here? It is quite a conservative base here, obviously. We're at CPAC.
Well, it's a tremendously positive response. Everyone under 40 gets it. Taking my picture like that gentleman just a minute ago, and overwhelmingly positive. And even for people over 40, a vast majority are now on my side as they understand that drug prohibition, the war on drugs, is a nanny state liberal policy where they want the government agents, like I used to be, a retired detective, they want government agents to fix stupid. And the government can't fix stupid, and these people get that if you articulate it properly, and that's what I'm here to do.
Is this your first year?
Oh no, this is my 7th.
Has the response been gradually, do you think, improving?
Yes. I mean, in 2006, I was persona non grata. I was like cockroaches. People did not like me. And then Ron Paul came in a couple of years later and just made everyone here realize that you don't want big government agents coming into your home because you're putting something in your body. So Ron Paul has helped them understand personal freedom, limited government action. And so that's why when Sarah Palin was just so great, because she had that big gulp soda, it's the same principle. The government shouldn't be telling you what you can put in your body as an adult. That's just silly.
And it's just getting people to understand that on a more, not just food, that applies to everything, that you are in charge of your own life. So what point in your career did you have a certain turning point, or were you always had this view?
Well, I pretty much always had the view, but when I really became radical was when I became a detective and saw so many crime victims caused by drug prohibition. And when a man, I asked him about his stolen pocket watch that had belonged to his grandfather, I asked him more about it so maybe I could find it at the pawn shop, and he said, "You'll never find it." And then he said, "Well, what was it worth?" He says, "It was priceless." And he slammed his fist on into the wall. His wife started to cry, and at that moment I said, "Why don't we let these crackheads have all the crack they want until they're dead? Let them leave in peace, the homeowners, as opposed to breaking into those houses." And that was my moment when I said, you know what, you should make this a medical issue, and if you take too much crack cocaine or whatever else and you die, that's your problem. Don't bother good people by breaking into their home. That was my epiphany back 1980, whatever.
What kind of response did you get from other law enforcement when you had this? Obviously, it's kind of a money-making scheme, I think, on a small level when it comes to just marijuana possession. So what response did you get from your superiors? Well,
from my superiors, I've had a horrible reaction because they understand very well what you just said. It's a money-making scheme. You give us about $14 billion a year to chase a green plant, Willie Nelson, Snoop Dogg. So for them, it means federal grants, free federal money, free state money to chase the green plan. Now, rank and file, street cops like I used to be, we get it. About 60% will say we should legalize it, treat it like alcohol, tax it, etc. We should not be chasing a green plant. But that's rank and file, and only off camera and perhaps retired or at least drunk.
So you have an organization that works with Washington now. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I founded COPS, Citizens Opposing Prohibition.org, in 2009 to continue my work in Congress representing law enforcement, that segment that thinks that drugs should be a medical issue. And then my job should be public safety, not your personal safety. And I meet with all members of Congress once a year, 535 congressmen once a year, to spread the message that in Congress it should be a states' rights, 10th Amendment controlled issue. Let Texas run Texas on the green plant, etc. And that's all I do in Congress is say apply the 10th Amendment.
Great, and just to kind of wrap it up, what do you see for the future? What kind of direction do you see happening, and how can people spread more awareness about this, that it is an issue that affects a lot of people?
Yeah, please contact your congressmen, your senators, and say on the issue of drugs and drug war, make this a states' rights 10th Amendment issue. Because the step number one is to take the power away from Washington and return it closer to the people in the state capitals of Springfield, Lansing, Austin, and Annapolis. That's the first big step, and that's what I ask everybody to do. Just contact your federal officials. They know what to do. They're just afraid to do it.
Oh yeah, sorry. The Hague here, the Dutch government, has actually implemented a new law this year that would make it illegal for tourists to smoke marijuana in coffee shops. This is supposed to be implemented by the end.
People use power in an abusive manner against the poor and against the innocent. It is beyond heinous, and